What does my dream practice look like? Here are a couple of things that I have been doing that has really made my ability to remember my dreams solid. For the record, I've always had really vivid dreams, and for the most part, I've almost always been able to remember them. On average, you have about 4 to 6 dreams a night, and on average, I remember 4 to 5 of my dreams to write them down. This is my most recent dream journal, and this is how much I've already filled it up. So first thing I started doing was sleeping with water on my nightstand so it's close to my head. I program the water. Water holds memory, so I ask it to do exactly that, is to clear communication, clear dreams, pure dreams, things like that. I program the waters for specifically for my dreams. When I first started doing this, I also used to keep a little bit of amethyst sitting in the water. And when I would wake up in the morning, I'd take a finger, put it in the water, and rub it on my third eye. It has the dream, so I'll just give it back to myself. I slept with a dream journal actually physically in my bed for the longest. Right now, it's near me, whether it's on my nightstand or if I'm sleeping on the couch, it's on my end table. Wherever I'm sleeping, I keep the journal and a pen because that tells me my intention is to remember and write. I don't judge how much I remember all the time. But early on, I didn't judge it. Whatever I remembered, whatever I called, I wrote it down. The more I began to do this, the more I began to hold on to from the dream. I also write down what I'm thinking or feeling when I get up from dreaming. Your waking feelings, emotions, anything, feelings, emotions, songs, words, all of those things get written down because they are still remnants of dream messages that you're receiving. I have a selenite wand that I keep in my pillow and underneath my bed. I also keep amethyst close by, so even if it's not in the water, it is on my bed. So I have on my nightstand. So I have amethyst and a couple of protective crystals for while I'm sleeping. I had really vivid night terrors for decades. Waking up screaming, crying for decades. I stopped dreaming about flooding and things after when New York had that really bad storm. I stopped having those dreams. But I haven't had a full blown night terror probably in 3 years. It's not that I don't get heavy dreams, it's simply that I don't have night terrors anymore. So I don't I don't wake up like this morning is probably the first time I woke up from a dream and wanted to cry. And what I've realized when it comes to my dream practice is that um, I have always been dreaming about things sometimes ahead of time or something that was supposed to tell me something going on in my life. So I pay really close attention. I also have been learning my own personal dream symbology. And I think that's been a game changer because I can go off of what the traditional symbolism means, but for me personally, it may not actually mean that at all. So it's been really helpful for me to understand how that plays out. We'll use car for example. Car is like you're going somewhere, travel, blah, 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 those type of things. For me, my car represented my passion. So for the longest, I was dreaming about my Monte Carlo. And the way the dreams would play out, one dream sequence that I had for the longest was I was in the car, but somebody else was driving. This is funny because when the other person was driving, it was typically a woman, and we would end up in a car accident. So in my waking life, I didn't let women drive me around. Like, my bad, but y'all can't, no, y'all can't drive me around. I don't care if I'm in your car. I have to really trust you and you're a woman to let you drive me around. Because otherwise, yeah, I know this is your car, but you're getting in the passenger seat. I'm not letting you drive me around. I had one friend, oh no, no, absolutely not. You can't drive me nowhere. Nowhere. Give me the keys. I'm driving. Always. Because every time I had a dream and it was a nightmare, it was about a car accident and it was always a woman driving me around. So then it shifted from that to, oh, wow. Just now, the thought that the issue, that the revelation of me having trust issues with women just floated by. I'll go deal with that later. But then it went from that to I would drive the car someplace. This is the same car, so it's still the Monte Carlo. So I drive the car someplace, and then I'd go in to wherever I was at, come out, and my car would be gone. Like, not like I couldn't find where I parked. Like, no, I know where I parked. The car is no longer there. I kept losing my car. So I'm like, what is the deal? So I did divination and I asked, what does my car actually represent? And it was my passion. So I'm constantly looking for, trying to find, and losing my passion. And I was like, oh my God. So let me tell you how that dream shifted. The dream shifted when I started doing tarot and writing poetry and teaching. Like, when I started doing all of these things that I enjoyed, teaching, doing tarot, which I didn't know at the time tarot was the thing. But then when I discovered it, it was like, oh my God, I love this so freaking much. This is so much fun. I started writing poetry again. I started doing all of these things that brought me joy, that filled me with passion. And what happened was I had this dream and I'm in this building, and when I came out, my car was there. And in the dream, I literally said, oh my God, I found my car. I found my passion. I was so excited to have my car. I woke up excited. I woke up still with the feeling of excitement, like I found my passion. So I no longer, well, I had another one, but I didn't have those I lost my car dreams anymore. And I remember the next time I had a dream about my car, it was no longer my Monte Carlo. It was some really fancy, I don't know, like maybe a Bugatti. I don't know. It was some real fancy futuristic looking car with like butterfly doors and stuff on it. So I was just like, and what I remember is feeling like I couldn't drive the car. Like, I'm going to the parking lot, I'm going to the car, I'm looking around, and I'm fully aware this is my car, but I'm like, this is not my car. And the person is like, why? It's like, because it's too much. And I didn't feel like I could get inside the car. I felt like I wouldn't fit in the car. So in this instance, the car wasn't simply my passion. The car was a representative of me. And so it is like the real me. And I did not feel like I fit into this fancy, expensive vehicle. And so that was a profound dream. I had another dream where I lost the car again. So I'm in this house. In this particular house is a recurring location. Like, I've been to this house multiple times. It's not always in the same neighborhood, but I've been to this house, this specific building, I've been to more than one time. So I go to this house and some stuff is going on, whatever. So when I come outside, my car's not at the end of the driveway. And I'm like, in the dream, I go, what the freak? I lost my car. I lost my passion again. And I'm like, no. I didn't lose it. I'm going down the hill. I know where it is. It's at my mom's house. So as I look around the scenery, I'm in my parents' neighborhood where I grew up. And I'm on the street behind theirs. So then I'm like, I'm going to go to my parents' house and get the car. So then I begin to like run up the street. And then I'm like, Why am I running? I'm dreaming. I could just call it back. And so I stand there for a moment and I close my eyes and I'm like thinking about being back in my car. And then I'm back in the car. And that's one of those like lucid moments in the dream. It's like I'm in control and why am I doing this stupid thing? Like what is happening here? Um, I had a dream where somebody stole my car. That didn't bode well for them. Because again, I have this attack. There's a the car is something specific for me. So when they stole my car, I lost my ish. So next thing you know, I'm either flying or I'm a giant. Either way, I'm going after them to get my car. So I'm going after them to get my car, and so I get in my car, but I'm still mad. So then I have to pick them up at this point and throw them because they stole my car. Uh, going lucid, though I don't do it consistently as I would like, I do go lucid, and that has evolved in how much control I've been able to maintain in my dream state. So I was listening to a meditation once, and what happened, let's say like in the dream, I'm standing in my living room, and I heard something I didn't like, and I went the freak off, like went off, and then I was like, oh yeah, I need to go back. I heard my kids playing down the hallway. It's like, okay, let me go back, and I snatched, back to the body. In the more recent ones, it's been really way more controlled. Like I've gotten, and again, my car is important. So I've gotten into the car and I was like, I saw the car and it's like, ew, it's like dirty. There's something wrong with it. I need another car. So I turned my back to the car and I'm like thinking I need a new car. And then I turn back around and this whole new car is like really cool ass. I've never seen one in reality looking car. Well, that's my car? Okay, cool. Get in, go. And then I wake up. I the last really vivid lucid dream I had, at the point, I won't give you the whole dream, but at the point where I went lucid, this is where I realized the level of control that I was able to maintain. So I get to my car, but there's somebody in the driver's seat. And so I tell them, I need my car. You need to get out. So it's him and his family. So they get out the car, but the little kid's upset. And now I'm upset because I made the little kid upset. I know it's a dream, but I'm still upset that I made the little kid in my dream upset. So I say, hey, so I think of another car coming. I said, hey, don't cry. There's going to be another car to show up. So that makes them okay. And so I was getting ready to drive off. And then I realized, why am I maintaining this same dream scenario? So I no longer see myself in the car. I see myself looking down at the landscape. So if you've ever seen the movie The Langoliers, there's a scene in The Langoliers at the end where they're flying away and you can see the Langoliers eating that chunk of that time space. That's what it looked like to me. So I'm looking and think Inception like the architect. I can't see the whole scene because I haven't built it yet. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to build the scene. And I said, I really should do something more because I know I'm in control at this point. So instead of trying to build out the scene in that world, I start thinking about the cosmos. And so I start drifting into the black. And that's when I have like this experience with myself. And I woke up like, oh, that's a thing that's happened. So my dream journey has been really, really interesting. I had a week after one of the new moons, and I want to say it was an eclipse too. And it was like every day it was a different person. Every single day it was a different person I was having a dream for. And these were people like I don't hang with them, I don't know them like that. And it felt really like I was in their business, but I wasn't trying to be because I don't know them like that. It's not like I was trying to dream about them. And every person I reached out to was like, how did you? Sometimes I just know things. So I'm like, yeah. So I've had lucid dreams about people I don't know. Like I've never met them, but it feels like something like what it feels like is like I'm witnessing something and I don't know what to do with the information. Um, I've had dreams where there were like clear message, like the one I had about Yeshua. Um, clear. The message was crystal clear. And then I'm like, what am I supposed to do with it? And it's like, you know what you're supposed to do with it. You're supposed to share it. And I'm like, and so then I share it. But, this didn't come as like something that happened. Mine. The moment I decided to have a dream practice, it did. But it wasn't something I've been doing like for like decades or anything like that. I've been dreaming like this for decades. Like since I was a little kid. Like when people talk about spiritual gifts they had as a child, the dream one is the one I had as a child. Absolutely. That's the one I remember. I don't have stories to tell you me seeing spirits or anything like that. I have weather control in my mind in dreams. That's what I had. And but the dreams have always been super vivid. And I look back now, like I wish I had dream journals from when I was younger to see what some of those things actually meant. But the moment I started writing my dreams, like they were there. They've always been there. I have several dream journals and they're just nothing but dreams and interpretations. And I won't sit here and say I interpret every single last dream I have. I don't. But days like today where I feel like I've had several really strong messages in my dream, I'll stop and I'm going to take some time and just like divine. And that's why that's a lot of times why I don't make as much content as I probably like to, because I have to find this balance. And I have to know what the dreams and the messages that spirit is giving to me in the dreams mean. And that means I have to take the time to sit with them and divine. So if you're like, she's not posting like 4 or 5 times a day, I'm just really probably not meant to. I'm really probably not meant to post like that every day because I also need the time to do the spiritual work. Which means whatever I'm channeling, whatever messages I'm getting. And then when I can, I'll share what, like today I decided I just wanted to talk about dreams. I'll share what the message is, but sometimes I can tell it's like it's not supposed to be rigid like that. It's just supposed to be consistent. So you'll get something from me on a consistent basis. That consistency just may not look like somebody else's consistency. So that's just a little insight as to why. Because, I'll just show you the most recent. Okay, so today is December 4th. As you can see, that says December 4th. And then there's all that. Oh, look, there's all that. And wait, there's all that too. That's just one night. That's just one night. And look at how much detail. So that means I have to go through all the symbolism. And as I'm going through it, I will remember more. So then it'll be like, ooh, I saw that, I saw this. So I have to then go through all the symbols. And I can tell you that, like, my dream divination looks like me going through, well, first and foremost, each and every symbol. Everything, every object, every person I remember, I divine over what that meant. Because if I remember it with that much clarity, that means it means something. And then I'll look, where's my soul been going? What's the journey my soul is taking? The reason why I had this dream. Any key themes that I have that are coming from this dream, I'll get that too. Anything that is relevant in terms of who sent me the dream, because sometimes it'll be evident like somebody sent this to me. It's someone's always sending me the dream, but it'll be like that came from an ancestor, and then I'll just confirm it. Or that came from an Orisha, and I'll confirm it. Or that came from an angel, and I'll confirm it. There'll be something about the dream that sticks out in such a way that says, I can tell this came from dot dot dot, and so then I'll confirm it, because that in itself may bring some glue to what the message is. And then I'll get the message, and then I'll also get like, what? Okay, well, this is the message. What I'm supposed to do with it. So that's how I do the dream divination. Yes, I will do dream divination for someone else. If you remember your dreams well enough to give me at least some really good details, how you felt, things like that. If you book the act, like, that's not a reading, that's a divination. Like, you got to book a divination session for that. But yes, I will divide over your dreams. I will do that. And then give you tips on how you do it for yourself. I am writing a class for that, but yeah, I'll give you some tips to how you should do that for yourself, and that way you can begin to remember your own dreams. Are your dreams sometimes just a dream? Yeah. Like, I don't divine every single dream I had. Sometimes I can tell. Like, I'm an anime fan, and I had a My Hero Academia dream. And you're probably like, what? And it was live action, so it was not animation. I have dreamt in animation before. That has actually happened. Like, whatever dimension I was in, wherever I astral traveled to, what animation looks like to us, that's how their real world looked. Because that's where I was. But in this particular dream, it was My Hero, but it looked like this. It looked like real people. Which looked really like, it wasn't Deku whose quirk looked cool. Somebody's quirk looked so freaking cool in my dream. But it was like a My Hero dream. And I'm like, dude, what is happening? Like, and I think I was at least partially aware that I was dreaming. Because I'm like, there's Deku, and okay, all right, that's the thing that's happening. So yeah, sometimes you're just dreaming. Sometimes you are just simply like, I'm just having fun. There's no message. I'm just traveling around, just doing stuff and enjoying myself. And sometimes that's all it is. But depending on who you are, sometimes it's not. And so I just write them all down. I write every dream if I can remember it, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, because I'm human. I don't always have my journal nearby, or there'll be mornings where I wake up because my son kicked me in the face because he got into bed with me and his legs need to be everywhere. I'm not remembering the dream in that moment. I'm remembering I got kicked in the face. That's what I recall. But it'll be weird because then later on, I might get something. But I pay, when I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, I pay attention. And I'll act on it. Some I don't have to do any divination, they're clear. When I got ready to do my poetry showcase, there was somebody I wanted as part of the show, and I did not have the guts to ask him because I didn't feel like I was, at the time, I'm still struggling with seeing myself as I truly am. And so I felt too small for him to say yes. That's the honest truth. And so Spirit was like, no, you need to do that. Like, there's a reason why you feel this way. You need him. And so I got a dream about it. I got a dream about us having a conversation about my show. Like, in the dream, I asked him, like, yo, would you do my show? And he smiles, but I never get the answer in the dream. And when I woke up that morning, I didn't immediately remember that I had the dream. But I'm in the bathroom, and then all of a sudden, just like, whoosh, and I'm just like, oh, I did. Pick up the phone, sent a message like, yo, what you doing on such and such a day? I would really like for you to be at my show. And come to find out, they had already been thinking about the idea I had for my show. So I was just like, okay. That's cool. That's cool. So, for those of you who feel like you don't dream, you do. You dream. You just don't remember them. Like if you went in a REM sleep, you dreamt. Yep, you did. You just don't remember them. And if you want to remember your dreams, you could try some of the things that I said at the beginning: putting the water by your bed, um, sleeping with your journal, making sure you're getting enough sleep. Like that's a biggie that I need to work on because I could tell when I went to bed at a decent time because I will lucid dream because I go into a deep enough state where I can be aware that I'm dreaming. But just try it, like, you know, telling yourself I want to remember. And then don't judge what you remember in the beginning. If it's one thing, write the one thing down. The next time it might be two. Then it might be three. The next thing you know, you might have movie scripts like I do. And maybe not. Maybe you'll remember exactly what you're supposed to remember. It's not going to be the same for everybody. So what you're supposed to remember, you will remember. And then you can start doing what you want to do in terms of trying to figure out if they're telling you something or not. So I hope this inspired you to pay more attention to your dreams. I hope that you feel encouraged that you don't have to have a whole movie script and it doesn't have to be perfect because mine isn't. And I hope it empowers you to understand that sometimes those questions that you're asking from the divine are being answered in your dreams and that you'll go and find the answers. Take care.